Welcome to 300 Days of Hardcore Skyblock, where today I'm doing just that, spending 300 days in my Hardcore Skyblock world and making some major changes to my base. However, unlike normal 100 days videos, I don't know the exact day count for when I did things, because I've done a bunch of videos and streams on this world since my first 100 days in this world. What I do know is what all has happened over the course of these 300 days and in what order I did them. So allow me to take you on this journey through the 300 days I've spent on my Hardcore Skyblock world. Now in the first 100 days in this world, I spent most of my time doing basic Skyblock stuff, like expanding my base, building makeshift spawners, and getting villagers. Which is why for the next 200 days, my main goals were expanding my base even more, making better spawners, and putting my villagers to use finally. But instead of starting off day 101 by making new stuff that would be beneficial for my world, I wanted to first change some old stuff that I felt weren't quite good enough. The main thing I wanted to change was my drop spawner, so it spawned more mobs and actually have a way to auto-collect the drops it produces. So the first thing I did was farm up a bunch of cobblestone, then use it to make a collection room underneath the drop spawner's drops, then eventually use hoppers to automatically pick up all of its mob drops. But I would need a lot of iron in order to fill the entire roof of the collection room with hoppers. So while waiting for the iron, I went up to the drop spawner and added a second layer onto it, so that way it would spawn and drop more mobs. But I'm not exactly sure how many more mobs would spawn. So let's look at the camera count and see both how efficient it is and whether it's working or not. Oh my mobs, there's so many in there. I'm looking at my camera count, that's like, dude, there's so many. The trapdoors aren't even working, they're still hanging on, but there's so many mobs. I mean, the drop spawner is spawning plenty of mobs now, and I just need iron to finish it. But the only way I have right now to get more iron is to wait for golems to spawn. So the next logical step would be to make an iron golem spawner. But no, instead, I decided to wait for golems to spawn for my villager breeder while working on another project. For this project, I got a bunch of leaves and went to the nether to get piglins. That way I could trade gold for gravel, which trust me, is worth more than its weight in gold. With the leaves, I made a place to put the piglins, and trust me, getting the piglins was easy too, because they already spawned in my pigman farm. So I opened up my pigman farm and led 2 piglins from it into a boat where I wanted my piglin trading area, meaning the only thing left to do for it was make sure I can actually trade with the piglins. Should be 4 gold, that's perfect. Let's just throw all of these out into the middle, and theoretically, you guys can both trade with me at once. Yes, perfect. And I can stand here and just trade with them whenever I want and get on the loot. Let's go! With the piglin trading area made, I figured I should expand my piglin farm so I could get more gold faster. So I did just that. Expanded my piglin farm and made sure when I expanded it, put enough leaves above it, that way ghast wouldn't be able to spawn in it. But with that, the piglin farm should be upgraded. So, let's see if it's working. Yeah, that seems to have worked good. And actually, it's a lot of pigment. Oh my god, I think this is working a lot better. I'm looking at the camera count. Oh my god, look at the camera count shot. There's so many that just flooded in. Let's grab all this loot. I can't tell if that's, I mean, 46. I think before I got 33. So that's like a 13 increase on nuggets, which was pretty good. So I think it's safe to say the pigman farm is now upgraded. And I'm done working on stuff in the nether for a while, because I need to get back to work on the drop spawner. So I headed back to the overworld, this time working on grinding up emeralds while waiting for iron golems to spawn that I could kill. Then after days of farming up emeralds and killing golems when they spawned, I finally had enough iron. So I made a crap ton of hoppers and filled the entire roof of the collection room with hoppers that led directly into 9 collecting double chests, effectively fully automating the drop spawner. And since I already had a bunch of emeralds, I figured before I got off for the day, I should probably upgrade my villagers and max out an armor, that way I can finally have full diamond armor. Full diamond! Full diamond! It's so worth it! Full diamond! Yeah, that was worth. That was so worth. I mean, it's not the best enchants, but I mean, I'll take it. So I now have full diamond armor, an upgraded drop spawner, and a piglin trading area. Meaning I now wanted to work on the next project in this world, expanding my base massively by making a giant ring around my base that I plan to put trees, farms, and villagers on. But in order to make these improvements, I needed a lot of dirt. So I started grinding up stacks of gold to trade for 9 stacks of gravel, which after getting over 6 stacks of gold and trading them with the piglins, gave me just under 9 stacks of the gravel I needed. So I got a tiny bit more gold and hoped that it would give me the rest of the gravel. Oh. That's not enough. I need literally 2. Literally give me 2 gravel. And I know it's not a possibility. The lowest you can give me is 8. But please. Yes! Let's go. And with that, we have all the gravel we need to get started. We also got ourselves quite a bit of extra stuff from trading. Notably, the leather, the books of soul speed, and then also quite a bit of like fire resistant stuff potions. And some iron. I'm gonna be real with you. The next things I have planned are gonna take quite a bit of time. So I stopped wasting time and started grinding up a bunch of cobblestone. Now with all the cobblestone, I made a giant ring in my base and made sure to put the normal safety measures on it, like rails and water chutes. So with the ring made, on it, I wanted to plant a bunch of trees, make an automatic carrot farm, and make a bigger villager breeder. Meaning I need a lot of dirt that right now, I just don't have. But because of that, I got 9 stacks of gravel earlier. Now the reason I wanted to get so much gravel is because I have plans to do things with dirt. Now if you don't know, with dirt, you can make coarse dirt. And with coarse dirt, after you place it, if you go around and hoe it, it turns into normal dirt. So using gravel, I just turned 4 dirt into 8. So basically double. But of course that needs gravel. That's why I needed so much gravel, because, well, ideally I'm gonna need a decent amount of dirt. So I turned all my gravel into dirt by making coarse dirt and tilling it into normal dirt. Then the first thing I did was go around and plant saplings all along the ring, giving me a steady supply of wood that I decided to use along with some cobblestone to make a bigger villager breeder. That way I could get more villagers. Because if you don't know, the amount of villagers that can spawn in an area is based on the amount of available beds in an area. So in other words, a bigger breeder means more beds and more villagers that can spawn. But what I need more than anything in this world is a consistent way to get emeralds. Because with emeralds, I can buy pretty much anything I could ever need from villagers. So I got to work on making an automatic carrot farm, and the design was very simple. It uses 2 hopper minecarts on top of each other to catch carrots traded between a farmer inside the farm and another villager outside the farm, which funnels all the carrots attempt to be traded into a chest that I can collect at any time. The only question now is, does it actually work? It's working! I'm looking at videos right now to see what's going wrong, and then I looked out like to see what other people do, to see if I can change the design maybe, and all of a sudden that's working. Oh my god, it's working! Well, that answers that. The last thing I wanted to put on the ring was an animal pen. Now I have a place to store my animals and breed them if I ever choose to. So for making the animal pen, I chose a spot on the ring that I decided to put a slab layer underneath that I filled in with dirt. Then I used leads I got from questionable means to lead all my animals into their new home, which wasn't complete until I picked up the grass from their old home using silk touch and transplanted it into their new pen, giving them a nice new spacious home with plenty of food. Speaking of home, I want to focus on being away from it. That really didn't transition well at all. Regardless, I wanted to make clerics, meaning I had to go to the nether and get blaze rods by any means possible. And trust me, I mean by any means possible. Because no matter what I did in my world or a creative version of my world, at both current and old version nether fortress coordinates, nether fortress mobs refuse to spawn. The worst part is I'm on the same world as Smallant, but his world somehow worked for spawning blazes. So to get to the bottom of it, in a creative version of my world, I headed to the exact location Smallant made his blaze spawner, only to find out that something wasn't quite right with my world. Wait, what? Okay, I'm convinced they're not playing on normal Skyblock. Because, if you're on normal Skyblock, you reach the border before you do what they do. They're playing on something different. They're not playing on the original Skyblock world. I mean, I could come to the normal world if I don't find a solution, but I kind of don't like the idea of that, because this is part of, like, normal C. But due to the world thing, I know it'll spawn blazes in my part of the world because of how old and bugged it is. I had no other choice but to head to the fortress to get the blaze rods I wanted. Oh my god, I'm close to the mainland. That is scary looking. Oh my god, that is actually horrifying looking. It's just a wall of literal hell. Hopefully I'm safe bridging over to it. Hopefully. Will it be? I don't know. Thankfully I was safe bridging over to the fortress, and I was also safe getting the 2 blaze rods I needed, getting an extra one in the process. That's all I need. I'm gonna leave. I got 3, I only needed 2. But the main thing I wanted those for was clerics. So now I can do the main thing I wanted to do in this video, which is making the clerics. So for the clerics, I made 2 rowing stands and put them into my breeder to change 2 jobless villagers into clerics. Now the reason I wanted clerics in the first place was because clerics give me rare exclusive resources I can't get any other way, like redstone, lapis, glowstone, and bottles of enchanting. And as a nice side bonus having clerics, I can use the rotten flesh I get automatically from my drop spawner for emeralds. I can also use the clerics exclusive trades to enchant in the future and make automatic farms and spawners that use redstone. Speaking of spawners, I think it's time I finally made an iron golem spawner. So I grabbed a bunch of resources and picked a corner of my base to make the spawner at. From the corner, I bridged out far enough to not have any other villagers or mobs interrupt my spawner spawning capabilities. Once I had the base of the spawner far enough away, I left the world and went in a creative version of my world to plan a design for my iron golem spawner. For the design, I wanted it to be different from my iron golem spawner I made in my hardcore world that expands based on my sub count, because that design wasn't very good, topping off at around a stack of iron per hour. So with the new design, I addressed the spawner's inefficiency by quadrupling the spots golems can spawn, which in theory should quadruple the output to around 4 or more stacks of iron per hour. Meaning I was confident that this new design designed would be good enough for getting all the iron I would ever need in this world. So confident, in fact, that I spent days copying this design into my actual Skyblock world. Making the shellless spawner was easy too, but it did take me quite a bit of time and effort to get all the villagers and zombies I needed into the spawner. The villagers themselves were actually kind of easy to lead into the spawner by just using carrots to lead them all the way up and into a hole. The zombies, on the other hand, were much more complicated, because not only did I need to lead them into the spawner, which is difficult because of iron golem spawning, but they also needed name tags to ensure they wouldn't despawn if I just left them there. Meaning I needed to make a librarian and max it out in order to get 4 name tags. Luckily, I had enough books to make a lectern for a librarian from all the bonus supplies I got earlier while piglin trading for gravel. So getting the name tags was just a matter of time, and so too was finishing the spawner. Meaning the only thing left to do for the spawner was put it to the test by going AFK for a bit and seeing how efficient the iron golem spawner actually was. I'm back. I don't know why I pressed that. I guess press that thinking I need to unmute. Nothing. So what I'm gonna do, open folder. I can get a copy of the world. Open it up. So why are you guys not afraid of this guy is the question. Are you guys not panicked by this guy? Really? Is it the glass? Might actually be the glass. It feels too safe, too secure. That might make them panic. That might work. I think the glass, like, it's supposed to be like they can see through it and it works, but I think it's not making them panic. I think that would solve the issue, is doing that. Yep, it did. I know my issue. Now I should be able to go up there and fix all these and have them actually spawn stuff. I just need to break the middle glass and then it should work. Somehow. Oh my god, why the hell are you mad at me? What the hell did I do to you? Why is he pissed with me, man? I'm literally trying to eat some chicken, not paying attention, and I almost died. I'm just eating some chicken and he almost murdered me. I like quickly like reached down to get my hand on the keyboard. Dude, you can't do that. I don't even know why you're mad at me. I was not prepared at all for that. Okay, let's scale up the wall again. Now you guys are panicking from the zombie. Now let's see this is working and collecting and everything like that. 31 iron already though, that's really good just while I was like fixing it. Let's see if it actually like works now though. Let's put this stuff away. Yeah, let's go to sleep out the night, that way I don't have to deal with the phantoms. And when I come back, see if it's working. Okay, let's go check and see if anything spawned while I was away. Less other stuff that spawned, and it did work while I was gone. Yeah, I now have iron, which is really good because I can use that for villager trading and then also for making stuff. And the stuff I'm making next is 9 more automatic carrot farms because I wanted a steady source of emeralds. So in the future, I can make a villager trading hall and use those emeralds for when I get good enchanted book trades like mending. Meaning for the 9 automatic carrot farms, I decided to go with the exact same design I made the original one as, because the original one was a good consistent source of emeralds, which unfortunately also means I don't really have much to tell you about making these 9 that I didn't already tell you with making the original one. What I can tell you though is I put all of these carrot farms next to the original one, and they took a very long time to make. Mainly because I had to get 80 dirt per carrot farm, or in other words, 11.25 stacks of dirt for all the carrot farms. Which with the current gold farm giving me around a stack of gold an hour, and the gravel gotten per gold trader with a piglin being a roughly 1-to-1 trade, the minute I had to spend around 11 plus hours grinding up the gold for gravel to make all the dirt I needed for the carrot farms. That, no joke, is the same amount of time it takes to record a third of a 100 days video. But regardless, I did grind up all the dirt I needed, and I did make 9 more automatic carrot farms, which took up quite a sizable amount of time. Only leaving me with about 2 days left that I chose to spend trading with villagers to farm up emeralds that I knew I would need in the future for future projects, which came in handy a lot sooner than I expected them to, because on the last night of these 300 days, a wandering trader spawned on top of my mob spawner. Unfortunately, the wandering trader didn't have any trades I would hope for, like pointed dripstone or rare seeds, but I bought everything he had to offer regardless because a lot of these items I can only get from wandering traders when they spawn in my world. So after purchasing everything he had, I decided to put slabs on top of my mob spawner to prevent future traders from spawning on top of my spawner. But regardless, with that, I've spent 300 days on my hardcore Skyblock world, and if you want, I'll gladly do another 100 days on this world, where I'll hopefully finally make a better gold farm using redstone and make a villager trading hall filled with useful villagers. So if you're new here and want to see more of my content, consider subscribing, or consider clicking the video on screen to see me turn Minecraft's scariest mod pack into Skyblock.